Allow me to lead with an apology. I'm sorry. I should have notified you guys months ago about what's going on. In the interest of brevity, I will cover the future of this channel and then go over why for anyone who would like to know. I am back to making content, as many of you may have been surprised by the fairly random Deep Rock Galactic fan trailer that dropped recently. And I started a new live stream Kenshi No Damage challenge. Going forward, my uncut content, especially stream archives, will be on the new Terminarch channel. This is only because I want to maintain the current Terminarch channel as a bit more professional than I've been recently. I also have an interest in branching out beyond Kenshi and beyond Twitch. The main reason for that is because I get burned out easily. I need to mix things up a bit if I'm going to continue making content without harming myself. The Kenshi runs, at least for the time being, will stay on Twitch. My Beep Takes Over the World run I would like to finish in particular. Unfortunately, some of my recorded content may simply be unrecoverable. Also, my Kenshi was broken for a pretty long time. But in good news, I do have the save file. And then everything else will be whatever I feel like playing if I feel like sharing it on whatever platform I think will perform best. There will be no streaming or upload schedule for the foreseeable future. Although I am making a small effort in getting a regular group together for co-op-oriented gameplay, something like Deep Rock Galactic. I also have BitChute backups, if you prefer a free speech alternative. And I still have some unresolved business regarding math. Particularly, I never covered the armor-piercing mechanic in Kenshi. In this downtime, I've made several improvements to quality. In particular, I have split my audio tracks, which means that in co-op, you would have my microphone volume, the game volume, and my co-op partner's volume all independently. This makes balancing much more flexible, both in-process recording and post-processing. In particular, I can cut out nuisances, distractions, or personal information without harming the integrity of the rest of the footage. Track number 4 with all 3 selected is the streaming track. The downside of this is that I have to re-render everything every time. Because for whatever reason, in my recordings, only track 1 is audible, and I have to manually re-enable all of them. I don't know why that is, but I suppose it's the price of elasticity. And finally, I am rebranding my channel. I've been using this image for a while, and frankly, I stole it off the internet, just like everyone else does, and that's been bothering me. So I went out and I commissioned someone to make art that I can actually truly call my own, something that I have a connection with, and I will share that with you now. This here was commissioned from a wonderfully talented artist by the name of Patrick Roller. Link to his Instagram in the description. We worked together brainstorming this piece to convey journey and contemplation. That lantern spear is a favorite touch of mine, implying utilitarian preparedness and illumination of the unseen. I also have Patrick to thank for this wonderful symbol, which is now my new avatar image. Heavily inspired by the Buddhist Unalome, a representation of the human journey to enlightenment, with a small creative flourish likening it to my spear. All in all, I am quite satisfied with this development. It adequately portrays what I want my channel, what I want myself to be, and it's a damn good piece to boot. This effort was paid in part by the small amount of donations I have received through PayPal. So in a real, tangible way, you guys have helped shape my online identity, my presence here on the internet. And I really must say how much I appreciate that. I've recently reached out to more artists, asking them to recreate this character in their own unique styles, as an exercise in perspective. That summarizes the short-term future of this channel, and now I will go into why. Kicking off with what I actually want from this. In truth, I got into the whole streaming and content creation business because I wanted it to be something I could do after I retire. And yes, I suspect that's about a decade away, but it takes years and years to build up an audience for these things. So to be frank, if I could make enough off of this to replace my full-time job, I would do it in a heartbeat. But otherwise, it is an afterthought. My road to financial freedom and a path of continuous improvement is much more important to me, as well as those things being prerequisites to getting into this business correctly. And now a word about my absence. I have been remarkably frustrated lately with inefficiencies, incompetence, and staggering unprofessionalism. And there's been a development recently of our parent company coming in and asking, "Where's all the money going? How come nothing ever gets done?" Almost as if I had a point this whole time. But anyway, that negativity fed directly into my loss of trust with YouTube, my loss of trust with Twitch, the gaming industry generally becoming an absolute fuckfest. And starting around February last year, I became painfully cynical and generally unpleasant. I rewatched some segments of my stream records and they weren't good. It was far from the best content I've made. It was not fun to listen to, let me tell you that. Well, before that even happened, I was planning on breathing new life into my channel, inspired by the Pete Complete series. I was going to take Outward by storm and produce all kinds of content. Have public multiplayer, Pete Complete inspired Let's Plays, professional things going over the math and survival aspects. I had planned to springboard off of Outward and get deep into it, get inspired, like when I first started making Kenshi content. But instead, I found it to be hollow. Don't get me wrong, it's a great game, but it doesn't have that same depth that I expected it to. And to top it all off, shortly after I finally upgraded to an SSD, my D drive failed. But go ahead and take a wild guess where all of my Kenshi recordings are. But on the bright side, my mental state has improved significantly, and I will continue my path on learning new things, as well as moving towards my goal of early retirement. And who knows where I would go from there. In the meantime, I'm looking into several options, either engaging in passive income, getting a new job, or taking up my workplace's tuition reimbursement for a mathematics degree. It's time to move on. I've learned what I could, and I'm running out of room to grow. I need to do what's best for me and leave the past behind. I don't know where this ceaseless pursuit will take me, or even how much time I'll have for extracurricular activities. But I do know for a damn fact I will never be satisfied with mediocrity. So I will keep moving, keep growing, keep looking for those challenges to sharpen myself against. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll be worthy of the name Terminarch. In the meantime, thank you all for your patience. This is Terminarch out.